Hello everyone, in this video we'll discuss about PLSQL procedure. So let's start. In PLSQL we have two type of blocks which are anonymous block and named block. An anonymous block is a PLSQL block that do not have a name, and the block that we have discussed so far in our videos, that is anonymous block. It is executed once and we cannot store it in the database. A name block is a reusable program unit which we can store in the database. It has a name and it can be invoked multiple times. The example of name block are function, procedure, and package. Now let's see how we can define the procedure. So a PLSQL procedure is a name block that can perform a specific task and can be executed multiple times. It is stored in the database and it can accept various parameters to process the data dynamically. Now let's see what is the syntax of defining a procedure. So first of all, we have to mention create or replace procedure keyword. Then we have to provide the procedure name. Then within the bracket, we have to mention the different parameters. The parameters can be in parameters, out parameters, or in out parameters. These parameters are optional. Then within begin and end, we have to write the procedure logic. Now we'll see few examples to understand the procedure. So first of all, I'm taking a simple procedure without any parameters. So this is our procedure. So update emp cell, and the syntax is create or replace procedure. Procedure name is within begin end, we have to write the procedure logic. So here I am using the update statement. I'm updating the employee salary by 10% for the department 30. So we need to compile the procedure to store the procedure as a database object. So we'll compile this. You can see update emp cell is compiled, and after that, if we want to check that is it stored in the database or not, so we have to go to the schema and then procedure, and here you can see these are procedure update emp cell which is now stored in the database. Now to run the logic of the procedure, we have to execute the procedure. So first of all, we'll check in the employee table for the department 30 what are the salaries. So these are the salaries for department 30. Now we'll execute this procedure to update the salary. So execute, we have to write this execute keyword and then procedure name. So then we'll run this. You can see procedure successfully completed, and now we'll commit and check the salaries for department 30. You can see the salaries is now updated. Now I do not want to use the fixed value of department ID within the procedure code. Rather, I want to use the dynamic value of department ID while calling or executing the procedure. For this, we have to use the input parameter. So after the procedure name, I'll provide an input parameter as p department ID, and we have to provide the data type as number, and we have to provide the parameter type. In this case, it will be in parameter. So if you do not mention any parameter type, by default it will be an input parameter, and this parameter I'll use in the where condition. And we can also mention commit after our update statement within the procedure. Now I'll recompile this procedure. You can see it is recompiled, and now I want to pass the department ID 10 while executing the procedure. So before that, we'll check the salaries in the employee table for department 10. You can see these are the salaries. Now I'll pass the department 10 while calling the procedure in the bracket as input parameter. So I'll execute this, and you can see it is successfully completed. And now we'll check our employee table, and you can see the salaries are updated now. Now we'll use out parameter in our procedure, and for this I'll take one requirement where we have to find the number of records that are updated and the count I will store in our output parameter. So I will add the output parameter as p underscore row underscore count, and the data type will be number, and for the output parameter we have to mention the parameter type as out. And after the update statement, I'll find the row count by using SQL %row count, and I'll store this in our output parameter p row count. So that's it. Now I'll recompile this. You can see it is compiled now. Now as we are getting the value of the row count as output parameter, so we cannot use execute to get the value. So we have to use a separate PLSQL block to call or execute this procedure. So for this, I have created a separate PLSQL block where I have declared one variable as v underscore row count, and within begin end I'm calling the procedure by passing the value of department ID and this variable v row count. So it will call the procedure by using the department 10. It will update the employee and it will get the row count in the p row count parameter. Then p row count parameter will pass the value to this v row count variable, and using this v row count variable will display the count. So you can see v row count records have been updated. So I'll simply run this block and you can see 4 records have been updated for this run. Now we'll see the use of in-out parameter in PLSQL procedure. I have updated my procedure update emp sal, and now I am using PMPID as input parameter and vSalary as in-out parameter. That means this vSalary act as input as well as output parameter. Now from a separate PLSQL block, I will call this procedure, and in that block I'll first fetch the current salary of any employee by using the employee ID, and then I will pass those employee ID and the current salary to this procedure while calling this procedure. And if that current salary, that is V salary, is less than 50,000, then we'll update the salary in the employee table by using the employee ID. And then the updated salary I'll again fetch into the V salary from the employee table. And now this V salary will act as out parameter. So that means in the beginning we are passing the V salary as input parameter, and at the end of the procedure we are getting the V salary and that will act as out parameter. Now let's see the PLSQL block. So here you can see I'm taking two variables, V employee ID, and I'm passing the value as 102 and V salary, and we are getting the salary into V salary from the employee table by using the employee ID, and then I am calling the procedure by using the value of employee ID and the salary. And to display the salary, I am using before update salary. That means before calling the procedure will display the salary, and after calling the procedure the salary will be updated. That I will get through the out parameter. So basically before the update we'll get the salary of as input parameter, and after the update we'll get the salary from output parameter. So now we'll run this. You can see we are getting the before update and after update salary.